action happening. The next bone in the chain is going to be 100% to the control for the shoulders. And again it pops. We just need to turn on keep initial offset and it'll stay where it's supposed to be. So now we're getting a nice twist off effect happening up and down. We're actually going to make this better as we go. For the head bones and neck bones, we just have one neck bone here. And we want this neck bone to stay aligned to the top of the spinal column. We could either go to the control object and worry that these objects aren't aligned correctly, or we can just go up to the top of the right to the top of the bone system that it's currently linked to. So I'm going to line it up to the nub bone at the top of the spine. Turn on keep initial offset. I'm also going to orientation constrain it up to the head control. This time we're going to leave it at 50-50 because we want this one to be halfway between the spine and halfway between the head. The head bone, we're just going to constrain 100% to the control for the head. So the control for the head now has a nice twist off for the neck area. When we rotate the shoulders, you can see that the neck stays 50-50 between the head and the shoulders. And the head stays aligned in the eye line that it's looking in. This means we don't have to keep adjusting the eye line. The waist control has a nice twist off, and you can actually pick any two controls if you wanted to bend them both at the same time to make a character bend over. Right now I'm not completely happy with the way the bottom of the spine's working here. When I rotate this, I'm getting a really sharp angle happening in this first joint of the upper spine. To fix that, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to constrain this bone off to another object and then weight it between that object and this control so I can actually slow the rotation of this bone down a fair bit. You need an object that is aligned currently to the controls so that it has the same orientation as the control objects or that bone. So the way I do this is I create a point helper. Make it fairly small. And I'm going to use my align tool to align it to the bone in position and orientation so that I know it's aligned to it. And I'm just going to link that control, or that point helper, sorry, to the main waist control so that it moves with the rig. Now what I'm going to do is I want to add another constraint into the list. Another way you can add constraints, by the way, into the list is add orientation target if you don't want to go through the menu system. I now have a 50-50 twist off. And I happen to know a really good solution for this is if I actually make the point helper constraint a little stronger than the actual control object. So I want to say 65% to the point helper, 35% to the control. Now you'll see when I rotate the character over, I actually get a little bit of extra bend going in the direction that I'm twisting this, but it isn't shearing the waist off at the bottom anymore. It hasn't affected at all how the rest of the controls work up the spine. This is nice though because now I can get some really nice shapes out of the spine. Bend the character over and the eye line still trying to remain the same. Now for the lower spine, down into the tailbone area, we don't need a lot of hip movement side to side or forward to backwards. This is a good rocking action for when we're doing walk cycles or trying to show weight shifting side to side. However, we have a fair bit of twist when we twist side to side with our hips. We can twist it a fair bit. And what you'll notice is when you rock your hips forward and backwards or side to side,